Hello everyone, my name is Raj and welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, we are going to take a look at how to control the animations of a cinematic using Blueprint. Here I have made a quick scene where I am going to select a blueprint, and if I hit play like this, you can see the Batmobile, it just comes up, and if I hit play B to C, this another animation plays. If I hit reset, it goes back to its default location, and then I can repeat the same process again. So let me show you what this is doing, right? So I have a blueprint with the controls, and if I go to my cinematics, if I open this, so here is a very simple animation which I made, where here the platform comes up like this, and from this point the Batmobile moves ahead. I have added markers over here, right? A, B, and at the end you can see C. So all this blueprint is doing is that when I click on play A to B, it plays the marker, it plays the timeline till here. And the moment I click on play B to C, it plays this animation. And when I hit reset, the timeline jumps to the initial location. So this is what we are going to do today. So let me start this from scratch. Let me close this sequence, and let me also delete the blueprint that I already have. So delete it. So here is the basic scene. It's nothing special. I have this platform thingy, and I have parented the Batmobile to the platform. So when I move the platform, the Batmobile also moves with it, and the two spotlights for the headlights. That's about it. So first create a level sequence. So in my cinematics, I am going to right click and go to cinematics and create a level sequence. I will call this level sequence ls and tutorial. Okay, double click to open this. I will dock it here. 30 fps is fine. You can use whichever you like. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to get the platform and drag it all the way to the timeline like this. And I know what I want to do. I want to transform it in the z-axis. So I will set a keyframe at 0. Maybe move it down like this. And I have set it to auto keyframe, so it should save itself. Yes. Move a bit ahead and bring it all the way back to 0. So let's see if it's, yeah, that's fine. Maybe I'll just make it a bit faster so that we don't have to wait this long. So okay, maybe just a little bit of rotation that I want to add. So I will go to the last keyframe here, and is it yo? Yes, this is the one. So I will add a keyframe at 0 and come back to the first keyframe, and maybe just give it like f minus 45 degree. So when it comes up, it has a nice turn to it. So here is the reveal. Then I will just jump to the last keyframe like this. This time I'm going to select the Batmobile itself from here and drag it like this. And now under transform location, I am going to, which is this axis, this is the x-axis. So I will put a keyframe here like this and go a bit ahead and move it all the way out. So yeah, let's see. Okay, looks good enough. I will go to the last keyframe and just bring the bracket over here. All right. So this is a simple animation which we created. If I play, this comes up and the car goes out. And just let's do one more thing before we jump into the markers. Select your transform track, right click, go to properties, and where it says when finished, set it to keep state. Similarly for the platform, open and right click on the transform track, properties, when finished, keep track, save. And we don't have to add the sequence to the viewport. We can just close this for now. Let's create blueprint. All right, I will go to my blueprints folder, right click and blueprint class actor. I will call this BP underscore sequence control. So SEQ and CTRL. So this will control the level sequence that we just made. I will open this up first. What I need to do is, I don't have to add anything to the viewport. Come down here to variables, click on add variable, and I will call this select level sequence. All right. In the variable type, I am going to look for level sequence. So here is the level sequence and object reference. If I compile this, you can see that I have an option to select which level sequence I want. So I know that I want the LS tutorial level sequence. Now I will go to the event graph. Let me delete everything. Here I will take this variable that we just created, drop it here and click on get select level sequence. From here I'm going to drag a pin and I'm going to look for create level sequence player, and I am going to execute this at event begin play. So I will search for event begin play and connect it here. So the moment we hit play, a level sequence player will be created using this level sequence, and I'm just going to store the variable. So promote to variable, and I will call this tutorial sequence. Now I'm going to take this variable that we just made. I'm going to drag it out and click on get. From here I'll drag a pin, and all I have to do is just search for play. This function is going to play the level sequence, and let me just make a custom event and call this play. I will connect it to play. I will select the custom event and call an editor, compile and save. Let me just drag it and dock it here. Now I have to put this blueprint into the scene, and now if I click play and if I select the BP controller, you can see I have this play, right? If I click on it, it's going to play the entire sequence in one go. Again, if I click on play, we don't want that. We want it to first come up, then we should have another controller which will take it out. But before that, one thing if you notice is when I click on play immediately, the Batmobile is still visible, right? It should not be there. It should be inside. To fix this, I will go to my blueprint, and what I'm going to do at event begin play, since we already have this variable created, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag a pin from here and I'm going to search for set play back position. Select it and right click and split struct. And now I can define at event begin play, the sequence should jump to 0. Now if I compile and save, go back here. Now if I hit play, you should see it should jump back to its initial location. And now if I click on play, it works. Now let's create the markers. So I will go back to my cinematics and open up the sequence. I will go to the first keyframe, and here I'm going to right click and I'm going to add a marker. Okay, so as you can see, it says A. If you select it and right click, you can change the, let me just make it bigger. If I right click on this, I can change it to something else. I can change the color of it. So similarly, I will zoom out. I will go to this keyframe. Here I'm going to right click and I'm going to add another marker. For some reason it is not at the correct location. I'm going to just drag it to here. And similarly, I'll open the Batmobile and I will go to the last keyframe of this. I will go to the last keyframe, right click and add a marker. So now you can see I have 3 markers, A, B and C. First we want it to play from A to B like this, and then we should have another control which will play it from here to here. Save this and close this. Back to my blueprint. So we don't need this play. First of all, we are going to delete this. What I'm going to do is from here I'm going to drag out a pin, and this time I'm going to search for play 2. All right, and here I'm going to right click on the playback params, right click and split. So the first thing which I want is I want it to play from A to B, right? So I'm going to say B, play to B. And playback param position type, I am going to change this from frame to marked frame. And I'm going to click on this custom event and I'm just going to rename it to play to A so that it's easier to understand. Oh, sorry, it is not play to A, it is play to B. Or we can just call it play A to B. Connect it here, compile, save. Now, if I click on play, select my blueprint and click on play A to B, you can see that the animation is playing only from A to B. Let me stop it. So in the sequence, it is playing from marker number A to marker number B. Next, we need another custom event which plays from B to C. I will close this, go back to my blueprint. Here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to duplicate this custom event and I am going to rename this to play B to C. And from here, I will drag a pin. First, I will search for set playback position. Right click on this pin and split. I want the timeline to jump to B first. And I'm going to change the position type to mark frame. And here I'm going to click on jump. What will happen when I click on this custom event? This playhead will jump to B and then it will play all the way to C. So now we have the playhead jumping to B, but now it also has to play to C, right? And so I'm going to drag another pin and this time I'm going to search for play to and select this, right click and split. This time I want to play it to C and from here I'm going to select marked frame. And now all I need to do is just connect this pin like this, compile and save. Let me close this sequence, click on play, select the blueprint. I forgot to do one thing. I will select it and call in editor, compile and save, play, select the blueprint, play A to B and B to C. And now I need a way to reset the animation. So I will make one more blueprint. I will create another custom event, add custom event, and I will call this reset. I will drag this pin once again, and this time I'm going to do set playback position, right click, split. I want it to be at 0, 0, or I can just put it back to A as well. And then I have to just make sure that this is marked frame, and here it will just jump when I click on reset. So, and of course call an editor, compile and save, click play. So play A to B, B to C, and if I reset, it will go back to the initial playhead. So using this method, you can create AR graphics for your virtual production. This gives the graphics operator the control over the animations, and it can be played at will during live productions. So depending upon which software you are using, Pixotope, Zero Density, Xmetry, your base workflow will probably be the same. All you need to do is later on expose these custom events to your choice of controller. I hope this was useful. Please do not forget to subscribe for more such virtual production tutorials. And my name is Raj. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.